You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel.
Don't you think that a small no ball games sticker on a park wall is a bit old-fashioned as far as a form of contact is concerned?
It's effective. The park is on your way to and from work. No one could ever say that you were doing anything out of the ordinary. You are simply going the way you always do.
Yeah, but I was thinking something a bit more up-to-date.
Maybe a bat signal, that sort of thing.
I didn't...
No, it's safer. The sticker appears, we're here. No sticker, have a good night. In a digital world where everything is monitored and recorded, you have to keep things simple. Remember, stay below the radar. Don't try and hide in it.
That's deep.
No, it's clever.
Why?
Certain fish in the ocean stay closer to the bigger fish so that predators don't attack them in case the bigger fish fights back.
I'm thinking that I'm the little fish in this scenario.
You most definitely are.
And the big fish with the larger tail under which I am to be protected...
The mainstream media.
I should have guessed.
Yeah.
The whole reason for doing it this way was to keep the big fish out. To not get swamped by the corporate players. I've dealt with these people in the past. They'll promise the earth, but after they put the paper to bed, you'll be the one left catching the final tube home. Tomorrow, they'll be out looking for the next sucker to do their reporting for them. You never make your name trying to please someone else. If this story of yours is to ever have an impact, it will only come from you and me. We will be the ones to get this out. No one else is going to help us.
You need the mainstream.
Rubbish.
The Department of Public Prosecutions had plans to bring legislation forward to stop websites like yours from publishing the very files we are talking about.
You mean prosecute the publisher rather than the leaker?
Yes. You won't just be the noble knight fighting for truth and justice.
And presumably the American way.
You'll find yourself in the dock.
So much for a free press.
The state can easily outbid you when it comes to lawyers by beating the broadsheets. Well, that's a different matter.
But the publicity alone would offer me some protection.
You only get protection if the mainstream decide to publish what you publish.
They'll edit and cut things that they don't like.
Then let them. Let the broadsheets present the edited version. You show the all-singing, all-dancing version. You give the world the director's cut. Show all the blood and guts in graphic detail.
Blood and guts?
These films will show just what we, our boys and girls, are up to in foreign lands. Show the world that it's not only the Americans that can shoot up crowds in market squares from the safety of a heavily armed gunship. Show the world that what Uncle Sam can do, we can do just as well. We too can commit atrocities.
Wait a minute, what did you say? Atrocities? What sort of atrocities?
Are you going to Cornwall?
Forget Cornwall, tell me about these atrocities. Where did this happen? When did this happen? Why haven't we heard about this before? How do you know any of this is true?
Oh yes, question, rather than even watch with your own eyes.
I was only asking the questions that everyone else will ask.
Will they?
Yes, I think they will.
Listen, my friend, I know we use code names. I don't know your real name. You don't know mine. But if we are ever to stop the endless wars across this planet, it will only happen when the people know the truth. I thought that was what you wanted. I know you always talked as if it was only ever about you. But I really thought, that at the end, it was about showing the world, the real world. You have to shock the apathetic out of their armchairs, have to grab them by the shoulders and shake them out of the daze that most people are in. It took me several years to find someone that I thought had the courage to bring the horrors of this world to the public's attention. To show our own people what was really being done in their name. Monday to Friday, I work at my desk, I shuffle papers, I stare at my screen, I hear what goes on. I hear what isn't reported. The public are not stupid. They will be angry by what we can show them. They will call for change. Change can happen. It has happened around the world. It can happen here. You, me, your people can make a difference. We only have to show the world the truth.
The truth?
All wars, since the beginning of time, require three things. 1, weapons. 2, money. And 3, people prepared to fight it. 1, weapons. Get the money and you'll always get the weapons. And if one side doesn't back you, another will. So you'll always get the money from somewhere. Therefore, you'll always get the weapons. The third is where change can come from. People. The Vietnam War ended when college kids ripped up their draft cards. No soldiers to fight the war, and no war is possible. We are fighting for the future conflicts where the authorities once more play the patriotic card. A future in which the kids of tomorrow don't even consider fighting the wars of tomorrow. It's the only way they'll ever stop. That's the truth I'm fighting for. So tell me, are we both fighting for the same thing? Are you still dedicated to the cause?
The atrocities.
An IED just outside Basra. All dead.
And this is what the films show?
Afterwards, later the colleagues of the dead soldiers went back.
Went back?
They rounded up suspects,
Suspects.
locals, took them to a warehouse.
To interrogate them?
Guess.
Stress positions, waterboarding, torture, need I go on?
Do you have to?
What else?
Isn't that enough?
Those things are bad, but
But
they've already been in the media.
the suspects were ordered to line up against the wall.
And then the soldiers raised their guns,
Yes.
and this is on the films. And they're not faked.
Who'd fake that?
Anything can be faked, if the reasons are good enough.
They have to be.
I have been called a cynic in my time.
No.
Surprisingly, yes.
The point of this?
No one does anything for others,
Really?
unless they're after something in return.
Is that so?
The question
The only question
is, what does that person want in return?
Well, you could always offer me a portion of the movie rights.
I'm trying to make a serious point.
Oh, believe me, so am I.
If you were ever identified, you would lose everything you've ever worked for.
That's the risk of all whistleblowers.
And yet you don't know anything about me. We even chose code names so that we could never betray each other, even by accident.
We shall continue to be careful. When these films come out, we'll all be watched very carefully. As I said, you should take a holiday abroad. I'll have to go quiet for a while.
With me in the limelight.
You said it was where you wanted to be. But at least if you publish with the mainstream, government won't be able to target you alone.
Target me alone?
The government has lawyers, investigators, prosecutors, rent-a-gang for hire. The mainstream also has them. Plus business connections, political connections, the ability to pick up the phone and get put through. You don't. After this splash, you'll need a friend or two.
I've got friends.
Oh, not like these.
I'll stand on my own 2 feet.
Yeah?
Yes.
With whom?
I'll stand with my people.
Your people.
My team.
There is no team.
We have volunteers.
Yeah, right.
We're not afraid. We're prepared to live with the decisions that we make.
Oh, stop deluding yourself.
Listen, Peter, if what you have is as important as you say, then someone has to stand up and be counted. My team are prepared to do that.
Listen, Dave. The Goliath that you're going up against is made up of people with secrets to hide. Do you understand? Am I getting through to you? People have heart attacks over things like this. People have overdoses because of these things. Some people walk down gloomy alleyways at night and are never heard of again because of things like this. If you stand alone, without the big players in the media, they will simply take what you publish and then publish it themselves.
That will be an infringement of copyright.
Then sue them, Dave, sue them. See how well you do when, instead of having big business as your friend, you succeed in making them your enemy.
Sometimes the little man can achieve more on his own.
Oh, on his own? What happened to your team?
That's what I meant.
With all your volunteers? Remember saying that 2 minutes ago?
Of course I do.
Good. What about their future?
They stand or fall with the website.
Oh, brave words you speak. But then I wonder how the rest of your team would feel if they knew you were condemning them to their fate.
They are all committed to the cause.
This is ridiculous. You're so desperate for your own moment in the spotlight, or another moment I should have said. You would condemn others to the political obscurity that will follow.
What on earth are you talking about?
They already have the IP addresses of everyone that has ever visited your website. They have you. They know where you live. They know what you do. They know where you go, what you eat, what you drink, what you spend your money on, what you don't. They even know how you walk down the street. They know more about you than you do yourself. The US will already have you down as a malicious foreign actor, and they may already have a plan in place of how to destroy you.
A bit dramatic, don't you think?
The internet is like television. Just depends what you use it for.
I do my shopping online.
GCHQ will monitor you via a system called Anti-Crisis Girl. This will have brought you to the attention of not only the UK authorities, but those of New Zealand, Australia, Canada and the United States. The Five Eyes Alliance.
Is that like the Rebel Alliance?
You think you're so smart, don't you? You haven't got a clue what you're doing.
I know about global telecoms exploitation. I know about Tempora. I know about X-Keyscore, about our listening stations in Cyprus and other places. I'm familiar with passive surveillance, and not so passive. We all know these days that the spooks are watching us all via satellites, internet cables and phone networks, so you can forget all the cloak and dagger routine. What do you think you've got in Cornwall, the new Pentagon Papers?
They also know how many volunteers you actually have. They even know what your real name is.
Who are you?
Speak to the mainstream press.
You don't know anything about...
Bring them on side.
I think you're lying.
Make it a full collaboration.
Trying to make me believe...
They will get to you.
I don't even know...
Negative stories in the press.
You could be anyone.
No. They'll go for your friends.
I've heard enough.
Your family.
I'm going.
For your family.
My team.
Your team? It's your mother and the teenage kid next door that knows where the computer's on and off button is. You're like millions of others that were forced to move back in with family, and it's desperately trying to find a purpose in life. Shall I speak your name as well? How long do you think you can be famous and anonymous at the same time? Appearing in front of computer Skypes, wearing a mask and getting rid of your second-hand laptop like last time? Why do you think someone like me would be spending my time in cafes with someone like you?
So that when the mainstream publications put the information out, it never comes directly back to the likes of you.
Exactly.
And whoever you truly represent.
And who do you think that is?
There's only one group that would have access to MOD recordings. The idea that they were just doing the rounds of Whitehall is farcical. I never believed you for one moment. There's only one reason that someone like you would have knowledge of atrocities committed by our side. Someone, not you, I'll bet, but someone wants the likes of me to know, which means that you and I are only pieces to be moved around someone else's chessboard.
If you don't take this opportunity, I have to move on.
That's what you've been told?
Those are my orders.
Find another person to hide behind?
But you could benefit from being that person. How many others are offering you an opportunity? Any opportunity, as anything. How long have you been unemployed? 18 months. Do you still hold out any hope of ever getting anything more than a 0-hour contract for the rest of your life? Are you really going to stay in your mother's back room where you grew up, staring at a computer screen, looking for evidence of UFOs, or who shot Kennedy? Did they really go to the moon? How about, are the Illuminati really running the world? Who else is offering their hand out to you, Mark? Who else is your new best friend? Do you even have a best friend? Who is the man that is looking out for you? Because if there is someone else, then you should take that hand and not let go.
Nicely put.
Thank you.